Hello, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. I can't wait. Tonight, another best of series. That's right. We're diving into Makers Mark, the best of Makers Mark, or what I have in Makers Mark. You'll see here we have the glasses poured blind by my wife in our signature colored Glencairns. If you'd like to get a colored Glencairn, check out the description below. I linked them on Amazon for you. We also have my non-sponsored Deer Park Refresher here for, in between to really help the taste buds out. So, as always on the channel, let's take a look at what we'll be sampling tonight. There it is. First up, the basic Makers Mark cask strength. That's right, we're starting with pretty much all cask strengths because, let's face it, generally that's the most delicious. And I don't have any of the regular Makers Mark that's not cask strength. So, two reasons why. But, first bottle tonight is the Makers Mark cask strength here. Now, this is the base juice, aged about 6 years. 3 on the top floor and 3 on the bottom floor. This particular bottle comes in at 110.4 proof. Almost all Makers Mark is anywhere between like 108 and like 112 typically. It doesn't vary that much. But again, this one's 110.4. It is batch 20-02, so a 2020 bottle, a fun little 375. But everything else tonight that we're going to look at starts with this juice, and then they add different flavored staves and different wood to it to get the different flavors. But this is the base. So we'll see if this comes in last, right? You kind of think probably would come in last. We will see if it truly does. Also, a full-size bottle of this is about $35 here in Pennsylvania. $33 even, if it's on sale, in that range. So excellent value for cask strength whiskey. Second bottle tonight, Makers Mark 46 cask strength. So this 375 says limited edition. However, I saw this pretty much all year in PA. You could kind of buy it all year on the shelf. It was like $60 or like $50. It actually was not as expensive as I thought it would be. It was not as expensive as the wood finishing series. So, the full-size bottle anyway. This is what it says it is. Makers Mark 46, but at cask strength. So typically, there's Makers Mark 46 and they water it down. Not this bad boy. Full cask on this one. This one comes in at 110.3 proof. If you don't know, Makers Mark 46 is really 10 French oak staves. That's what they add to each barrel, and then they, age it again. So they basically take the Makers Mark cask strength, just the regular, and they add these 10 French oak staves to the barrel, and then they age it a little bit longer. And then there you go. Alright, next up is the 2020 limited edition wood finishing series SE4 PR5. One of my personal favorites of the Makers Mark line. 110.8 proof. I believe these are typically $64.99 in PA. So all the wood finishing series from 2020, 2021, I'm sure for 2022 will be the same price. They're all $64.99 here in PA. Again, excellent values for these typically. This one, in case you missed it, says a marriage of virgin toasted American and French oak staves. Tasting notes, barrel finished for amplified notes of vanilla, baking spices, and creamy caramel. So vanilla and caramel to the extreme. Going through all these, and I will say every one of these has this red wax with the real wax seal here on the front. Gotta love these bottles, right? Anybody else who does wax does not do it as good as Makers Mark. This wax peels off relatively easy when you open it. It doesn't send shards flying across the table. Cough, cough, Knob Creek. It doesn't, fall into the bourbon everywhere. Again, Knob Creek. The sad part is Knob Creek and Makers are owned by the same parent company, so someone from Knob Creek, they need to authorize a little field trip and go over there and learn how to make wax. I'm sure they can do this same wax in black for Knob Creek, and then it wouldn't be so crappy. Just a side note. Alright, next up, 2021, the first wood finishing release of 2021, FAE-01, with the FAE standing for fatty acid esters. They're going for the mouthfeel in these, I believe. Proof here was 110.3, so we've been pretty steady on the proof here. Let's see what it says here. A fruit forward expression with notes of tobacco and wood. So again, I've done a review of FAE-01 and FAE-02, and I will link that above. But there's only 2 of them, so there's been plenty of time since that review. These have been drank down further. There's a lot more air in these bottles, so it'll be interesting to see where they fall tonight, completely blind. Last but not least, FAE-02, the second release of 2021, still available on some shelves in certain states. I see people just buying this recently again, still out there. This one comes in at 109.1, so I believe our lowest proof tonight. And this one says a texture forward expression that's full-bodied with notes of toasted oak and a rich, creamy finish. So again, we went through all this, $64.99 here in PA. Although these are limited, they are generally available for several weeks because there's so many of them. So it's not like one of those releases where if you don't get it that day, you're not going to get it. These are generally findable for a certain amount of time when they do release. Now, I don't have a 2019 RC6. I wish I did, and I would include it if I did. If any viewer has a 2019 RC6, go ahead and send me a sample. I'd love to try it. Never seen the bottle for sale. I'm doing this video now because there's obviously new ones coming out for 2022, so I want to do, this is reasonably what everybody would have from the past several years except the 2019 RC6. Again, apologize, couldn't find it, don't have it. Poured blind tonight, we're going to give you some tasting notes, my guesses, and my rankings, and then we're going to find out exactly who won and who lost. But because it's Maker's Mark, they're all delicious. There's going to be real no losers tonight. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, first up here is the Gold Glencairn. Gosh, it smells so good. I get tobacco, creamy vanilla, like a confectioner's sugar on that. Man, it's some oak. Smells woody. Like they put staves in it. Poor joke, I know. Alright, let's give it a sip. It's very good. There's a lot of fruit up front, actually. And then the kind of oak and wood comes in. And it kind of finishes with a little bit of oak and a little bit of heat. Very good. Fairly creamy on the mouthfeel as well. Initial guess, off the rip, this is one of the FAE-01s, and I believe FAE-01 was when it said fruit forward, and I kind of got that fruit on the palate, not necessarily on the nose, and some tobacco on the nose, which that bottle also said. That's my guess for this one, right off the bat. All right, next up, the Blue Glencairn. Oh, this smells definitely less tobacco. I'm getting heavy caramel and heavy vanilla. And the confectioner's sugar, and also there's a little bit of oak in the back. This smells sweeter and like a heavenly dessert. Let's take a sip. That's delicious. Big pop of caramel and vanilla, what we were smelling. Drank a tad bit hotter than the first one. Excellent, good finish, good mouthfeel as well. Not quite as thick on the mouth as the gold one though. Off the rip, first sip, I'm going to guess that this is the SE4 PR5 because of the big vanilla and caramel burst. Alright, up next is the Green Glencairn, which is quite the pleasant shade of green, I will say. Uh-oh. I could be wrong on my guesses. This smells like straight vanilla marshmallow. Vanilla, marshmallow, and oak. And then there's the Werther's Original right in the back. I might be revising on my guess on which one's SE4 or PR5 if this drinks how it smells. That's my favorite so far. Very sweet, long finish, good heat to it, big burst of that vanilla and like marshmallow. I don't remember marshmallow in my Makers, but hey, different day, you never know. That one was excellent. All right, the red Glencairn. I'm getting some fruit on this one, some tobacco, but more subdued tobacco than I got on the gold. I would say like some pears, peaches, oak, and a little bit of tobacco on this one. Let's take a sip. Also excellent. Seems we're getting better here as we go along. Very good balance of oak, fruits, caramel. This one was probably the most like well-rounded. If you like all those things, this one was very good. This is probably in first or second with the green glass. It's up there for me. Last but not least, the black Glencairn. This also smells really good. I'll say this is more generic bourbon flavors, kind of like just caramel, vanilla, oak. Like, they're all there, but they're not really, like, popping out as really hitting you in the nose like some of the other ones were. Let's take a sip. That's very good. Good finish. Traditional bourbon flavors, like I said. My guess on this one is, I don't know if this one's finished. This one could be the Maker's Cask, just a straight Maker's Cask. Very good, though. All right, I have like two that are in the top portion for me, and then three that are kind of in the middle. So I'm going to go back through these off camera just to save some time for the video, and you've heard all my tasting notes and comments. I'm going to go back through these off camera, and then I will rank them and guess, and we're going to see the results together. All right, we're back. So I have my rankings. It was a little difficult, but not too difficult. Once I went back through, I kind of did line them up pretty easy by going back and forth. In last place is the black Glencairn. I think it's the regular Maker's Cask. It was very good, very traditional bourbon flavors, but just didn't bring anything extra to the table. That's what I think it is. Could be wrong. In fourth place was the gold Glencairn. I believe this is FAE-01. It kind of had this like strong tobacco note to me that I didn't hate, but I preferred the other stuff more. So that's why it's in fourth. Third and second were hard. Third was the blue Glencairn. I believe that this is the Maker's 46 cask. Very good, a lot of fruit, a little bit darker, which is why I placed it in third. But in second place was the red, and I thought the red was just a little deeper, darker, and richer, and brought some tobacco, some fruit, some vanilla, and just combined it very well. So that's why the red glass got second. I believe this is the FAE-02, also because it tasted kind of the thickest. And then the winner was rather easy for me. I love vanilla and caramel, and the deeper, darker, and richer, the better. And this is very rich in the caramels and the vanillas. I think this is the SE4 PR5, but the green was first place tonight. So let me grab the answer key and see how wrong I was. All right, we got the answer key right here. So let's dive into the answer. In last place, the Black Glencairn. I guess cask strength. It is cask strength. 1 for 1. So last place. Now that doesn't mean it wasn't good. Very good. Keep in mind it's roughly half the price of the other ones. So it definitely wasn't half as good as 4th place. So that's something to be said for that. Alright, the Gold Glencairn was 4th. Gold was FAE-01. Another 2 for 2, I called them. Kind of knew that was going to place there. Okay, 3rd place was the Blue Glencairn. I thought it was Makers 46. Blue is 46 cask strength. Another win. 3 for 3. Now this was tough because they all are very similar. Alright, so that leaves 2nd and 1st place. So we'll go right to 1st place. 1st place was the green. I thought it was SE4 PR5, and it is SE4 PR5. Which means 2nd place was the red, which was FAE-02. So I called all these exactly right. Rarely happens in one of these best of videos. If you watch any of the other ones, I'll link another random one above. Just goes to show you, if you can find a 2020 SE4 PR5 and you love vanilla and caramel, do yourself a favor and pick it up. It does stand out more so than the other 4. If you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm fighting for 400 subscribers, so please go ahead and subscribe. It's free to do so. If you need any new Glencairns or anything, look below in the description. I did link some Amazon pages to help you guys find those. So stay tuned for more. Have a great evening, everybody.